Hey everyone, welcome back to another terrifying episode. If you're new here, I'm Random Fun, and you're about to dive into the world of real horror stories, straight from Reddit. These aren't your usual jump scares or made-up ghost tales. These are true experiences shared by people just like you and me, so turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and let's get into it. But remember, don't be surprised if you find it hard to sleep tonight. Story 1. The Shadow in My Bedroom. Our first story comes from the subreddit r or paranormal, shared by your Shadow Seeker 88. They describe a chilling encounter with a shadow figure that visited them night after night. It all began a few months ago when I moved into a new apartment. It was a quaint, cozy one-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood, and I thought I had finally found. The apartment had its quirks: creaky wooden floors, drafty windows, but nothing that screamed danger. At least, that's what I believed until one night changed everything. One night, around AM, I woke up feeling a strange sense of dread. As I turned my head, I saw a tall, shadowy figure standing at the foot of my bed. My heart raced as I tried to convince myself it was just a trick of the light. But then the figure began to move. It glided slowly toward the corner of my room, and then it vanished. I spent the rest of the night lying wide awake, my mind racing with possibilities. The next night, it happened again. The shadow was closer to my bed, and its presence felt even more sinister. Each night, it seemed to get nearer, and I could feel its cold, oppressive aura more intensely. Then came the night that was truly terrifying. I woke up to a bone-chilling coldness and felt what I can only describe as a breath on my neck. I turned around, but there was nothing there. It felt as if something invisible was right beside me, watching me. I haven't seen the shadow in weeks, but I still wake up sometimes with that same eerie feeling. Story 2. The phone call that shouldn't have happened. Our second story is from a or nosleep, posted by you or Crypticola. Have you ever received a strange phone call late at night? Imagine hearing a voice on the other end, when no one should be calling you. This is their story. It was a regular Friday night. I was home alone, relaxing and watching TV, when my phone rang. The caller ID showed unknown number. Normally, I would ignore such calls, but something made me answer this one. On the other end was only static. I hung up, thinking it was a wrong number or a glitch, but then the phone rang again. Same unknown number. This time when I answered, I heard a whisper. It said, "I'm outside your door." My heart sank. I ran to the door and looked through the peephole, but there was no one there. I thought it might be a prank or a wrong call again. Then the phone rang once more. The voice was now softer, almost a whisper. "I'm inside." I felt a cold sweat break out. I dropped the phone and bolted out of the house, locking myself in my car for the night. The next morning, I returned to find my phone lying on the hallway floor and the door to my basement wide open. I don't have a basement. Before we move on to the next story, if you're enjoying these spine-chilling tales, please take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with your own creepy experiences or thoughts on these stories. Your support really helps the channel grow, and I'd love to hear from you. Story 3. The Creepy Forest Encounter. This story comes from a or let not meet, about a camper who thought they'd have a peaceful weekend in the woods, but instead, they encountered something much more sinister. I decided to take a solo camping trip in late fall. I found a secluded spot deep in the woods, away from other campers. The first night was peaceful, with only the sounds of the forest as my companions, but around AM, I was jolted awake by the sound of footsteps outside my tent. I initially thought it might be an animal, but then I heard a voice, low and gruff, saying, "Come outside." My heart pounded. I didn't want to open the tent, but I grabbed my flashlight and peered outside. There was no one there. I felt a chilling sense of dread, but decided to stay awake, keeping my flashlight ready. The footsteps continued, circling my tent in a deliberate pattern. When morning finally came, I packed up and hiked out. As I left, I noticed fresh footprints around my tent, bare human footprints. They had been circling my campsite all night. Story 4. The Mirror, shared by you or Reflective Fear Honor or Creepy Encounters. This story is a short but unsettling encounter involving an old mirror. I was helping clean out my grandmother's attic when I came across an old, ornate mirror. It was covered in dust and cobwebs, and something about it made me uneasy. I cleaned it up and brought it downstairs to my room. That night, as I was getting ready for bed, I glanced into the mirror. At first, everything seemed normal, but then I noticed something disturbing. In the reflection, behind me, stood a woman. Her appearance was unsettling, pale with sunken eyes. The eerie part, she wasn't in the room, just in the reflection. I turned around quickly, but no one was there. When I looked back at the mirror, she was gone. I haven't looked into that mirror since. It's back in the attic, where it belongs. Story 5. The Eerie Neighbor. Our final story comes from our or true scary stories, shared by you or haunted neighbor. It's about a seemingly normal neighbor with a disturbing secret. I had just moved into a new neighborhood, and everything seemed fine until I met my neighbor, Mr. Thompson. He was a quiet, elderly man who kept to himself, but over time, I began to notice strange things. Late at night, I would hear odd noises coming from his house, scraping sounds, muffled whispers. One evening, I noticed Mr. Thompson in his yard, digging a hole. I thought nothing of it, assuming he was just gardening, but the digging went on for hours, and he was very secretive about it. The next day, he filled the hole in and covered it with fresh soil. A few days later, I saw him dragging a large, heavy object into his garage. Curiosity got the best of me, and I peeked through the garage window. Inside, I saw what looked like old furniture covered in tarps, but beneath one of the tarps, I thought I saw something disturbing, something that looked like a body outline. I never confronted Mr. Thompson, and soon after, he moved away. The new owners of the house were renovating, and they found some unsettling items buried in the yard. No one knows what really happened, but to this day, I can't shake the feeling that I witnessed something truly horrifying. That's it for tonight's episode. If you enjoyed these stories and want more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you have your own terrifying experience, share it in the comments or on my subreddit. You might just be featured in the next video. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't look in the mirror before bed tonight.